You are now listening to the Hunter's Advantage podcast. We preserve the history and sport of hunting through curious conversation and action-packed hunts, as well as offering you tips and strategy for more successful hunts. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the Hunter's Advantage podcast. This is episode number 149. You haven't heard from us in about 10 days, but that's for good reason. We were at Total Archery Challenge. Jake, how's it going? Mr. Tired Man, Mr. Yawn, 80 hours in today. Taking a break to do another job.
I'm only on like 70 hours this week, so just cut me some slack.
Only 70 hours by Tuesday.
I'm trying to afford these Biden gas prices and, hopefully one day just affording a half-acre trailer home for a little under $500K. That'd be great.
Well, Kamala told me that I'll have nothing and I'll be happy.
We did it. Joe.
We did it. We did do something. We did just get back from Total Archery Challenge. I say just got back. It's been a week, but I needed a week to recover from what went down in Broken Bow. I got physically assaulted in those mountains and assaulted at the Warrior Rising place where they sold me a wristband for beer, and then they ran out of beer.
Oh, did they actually run out of beer?
I mean, I don't know if they ran out, but I went up there like, we have, what's the nastiest like beer they have? It's like stuff now, like a stout or something like that.
Maybe.
I went up and they're like,
it looked like orange black.
Yeah, it's like black. And they're like, this is what we have left. I'm like, there's a reason that you have that left. It's because it tastes like crap.
Give me it anyways, because I can't taste.
Yeah.
I don't remember them running out of beer, so apparently it was well worth the wristband. So
that's fair play to you. So this was our second tack, or at least Jake and I second tack. We had a couple, not new faces to you. If you saw any of the videos, you probably saw Micah, our buddy. This is his first time shooting tack, and then Peyton, you saw his familiar face, but he was on the videos too. Just overall broad before we get started, Jake, how did you like tack this year versus last year?
It's kind of a hard comparison because like last year we were only there for just that one day and we only shot one course. And this year I felt like we really got to like soak in and actually shoot multiple courses and kind of visit and see what tack's really about. And it was cool because I met Chris B. So,
well, I met John Dudley.
Okay. So. You didn't hit a sticker, so.
I tried.
Me too.
We all gave it a try. We all shot at the Sasquatch. I thought it was fun. It's definitely a weekend experience. Like if you're shooting more than one course, you got to be there for the weekend. I thought Peyton's brother and family did it right. Like this is definitely something you could bring the girls to, especially with a cabin.
Yeah. You
could.
Yeah, that is true. But
I'm saying get them their own cabin.
That's what I mean. Like that's literally what I was just about to say because like you could tell that like there's a little I don't know if the right words like animosity. When we came over because it's just like it seemed like after they were gone all day shooting, they wanted Coop and them to come back and
help with the kids,
hang out with them, and then we show up and we're like, let's shoot bows in the dark.
Somebody turn on the headlights.
Yeah. So yeah.
What do you mean? A bunch of late 20s, early 30-year-olds showing up with 30s isn't what you want to see at 11 p.m. on a Saturday night?
If you birthed two little minions, then maybe your ideology changes a little bit. I'm not sure.
Maybe we'll get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. TAC was fun this year. We ended up shooting 4 courses. We shoot 2 on Friday. We shot Ultra View and Sitka on Friday.
Yeah.
And for any of you guys that were there, you know exactly what these look like. We shot Loophole on Saturday and we shot Prime on the last day. We did record some awesome videos. I'm biased, but I think they're pretty good videos. First day on TAC was a rainy, nasty, windy day. And I've still been trying to get over my target panic a week later shooting at the target. But let's talk a little bit about the video. The random number generator. I think the title of the video is we used a random generator at Total Archery Challenge or something like that. That one was, do you not agree that one was probably the most brutal?
Yeah, it was, but that might have been the funnest one, to be honest. I think, because you could get screwed in multiple ways. And I don't know, it just made it a lot more like enjoyable, I guess I should say.
So if what Jake and I were talking about, and Peyton too, before we like went to TAC this year, was like, okay, if you've seen one TAC video, you've seen them all, right? Like they're like, let's go shoot TAC, and they go shoot some arrows at some foam, and foam is home. You know, you've seen them. We took a little bit of different approach with and I'm sure some people have done this as well, because I haven't seen every TAC video ever, but we did some fun challenges. The first one that we were talking about was the random number generator. So Jake came up with 10 challenges and then put them on a randomized wheel on your phone. What were some of the more brutal ones?
So there was one that was headshot on. Actually, let me just pull up the script real quick. I think that'd be very beneficial. RNG 10 range. So the first one, headshots only. Number 2, no rangefinder. Number 3, group decides yardage. Number 4, shooting for 2. And number 5, group countdown shot. Number 6, 10 ring or above. 7, comedy club. 8, group picks 4 steps. 9, hit the 12 ring, give a strike. 10, foam is home.
It was funny because there were some folks in the comments that were like, you should have done this. And I was like, we can do that. We can do that next year. Keep sending those challenges in the comments.
Either that or pay for all of us to go to like Tennessee and shoot that. And then, hey, we might show up.
Might shoot it with you. Yeah, that video was brutal. So basically, like, before you stepped up to the line to shoot, you'd hit that random number generator, and it would give you one of those shots. I got a strike, and we originally started with like 5 strikes and you'd be out, but it was just on the ball that day, so we had to move to 3. And I got a strike on the second target because as soon as I got comedy club on that one, as soon as I drew back, there's that. It's on TikTok and probably Reels right now, but that guy's
You sure about
that? And the whole time we had been there before, Carol had just been repeating that the whole time. And then I drew back and Carol goes, you sure about that? I started crying in my draw cycle. And he was like, you got to shoot. And I airmailed probably like 2 feet to the right into the log. It was terrible. When did you get your first strike?
I'm not sure. It was probably on something stupid like foam is home or something like that. I know that's what I ended on. I don't remember my first 2 strikes, to be honest, like right off the top of my head. But what got me out is literally like a 34-yard shot on foam is home on like this fox or something. And I just screwed the pooch. I just got nervous or whatever. Hit a tree that was in front of it. Yeah.
That was the fun part. Like, I'm trying to think. So what did Carol get out on? He got on a headshot only, same target as you. He had to hit I think it was something really small, maybe even a squirrel. Like, it was something small, but it was very hittable. It's 30.
It was like a raccoon or something like that.
Yeah. Carol had to get headshot. He shot him like right in the neck. And so you and Carol both got out that target. Micah and I left with 2 targets left? Is that what it was? Because this was only 15 targets. So there wasn't.
Right.
That's why we had to shorten it.
It was. Yeah, on the 14th target, that's when you all were going like head to head.
So this shows some of the brutality of the game. Micah spins, gets comedy club. First of all, Micah is a dad, so he can ignore people. I can't. Baby. Yeah, he's stone cold. I can't. And when people talk, I have to think about what they're saying. It was hilarious. Comedy club got me every time I did it. But Micah goes up there, and it's in the intro of the video, but Carol's like hitting him with the air humps, like behind him. He's like, doing that. Didn't even flinch. Micah still hits it. I get up there, 51 yards on a turkey. Hit. What do you think it hits on? Headshots only. The disrespect of the wheel. The disrespect.
It's just prepping you for turkey season coming around the corner.
Too bad I only use shotties in turkey season. But no, I got 51 yards on a turkey, and you want to talk about like just testing your shot process. First of all, you develop target panic when the group is behind you on like a group countdown when like 3, 2, 1. There's no pulling through your shot. You're grabbing that trigger, bam, punching it. So I got 13 targets of target panic built up. And on that one, nobody was talking. So I pulled back. My pin was definitely not on the head when it went. And I just let God guide that arrow, hit that sucker like in the brain, in the head. That was probably my best shot of the course, but it was also very dramatic because it kept me alive and only to lose on the next target on a very easy shot. But I liked the RNG challenge. That's one we should definitely bring. I bet we'll see some more videos that people.
That was probably the most intense one, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I liked the RNG. It was piss pouring when we were doing it, but it was still pretty fun. 15 targets.
It's cool. It wasn't your phone. We were using the RNG, so it is what it is.
Just the camera gear, just all the nice stuff. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
$300 phone versus $4,000 worth of cameras, dude. That's the one thing that sucked with all these challenges is like, you guys should be writing us like handwritten letters with like perfume sprayed on it. That way we could smell it and just know that you guys appreciate it because. Lugging. So not only did we walk like up and down those little hills that Beaver Bend provides and stuff, on one camera we had like a full-fledged DSLR that was connected to this. I don't know. It seemed like it was a 30-pound freaking tripod because Christian was
heavy,
the most sturdy one, which was needed because it would have got top heavy sooner or later for sure on those hills. But we had that one, and then we had someone working a GoPro, and then we had somebody on another DSLR that was getting like the
vlog.
Yeah, basically. So it was a lot to carry. Like it was almost too much. And so if someone wants to walk a course next year just for funsies and maybe hold a camera or two, that'd be cool.
It's one of those things that you do once and you're like, all right, need a camera guy.
Yeah,
this event.
That's the reason I didn't probably win that RNG challenge because y'all made me carry the tripod 90% of the time. So
yeah, okay, that's why Carol should have won most of the challenges. It's for that reason. That was funny. Carol took the day off on Saturday, and then he came back Sunday and was shooting and was like, "Dude, I'm wore out." I was like, "You should be well arrested. You didn't even go shoot yesterday."
Saturday was good though because are you want to talk about the Sitka course first?
What is there to say about Sitka? I hated that course.
It was windy.
That's an understatement. There was some 30, 35, 40 mile an hour winds on that thing.
And all y'all's $5 bills were just slapping me right in the face.
Y'all them pies, and you didn't do nothing. You didn't bring us the truck home.
Listen.
Not even an entry. But I mean, granted, so we did the miss a target, pay $5 one on the Sitka course, and the Sitka course is awesome because you get on a boat and you ride out to an island to shoot it. And the island, though, like every one of the shots seemed like it was on the coast of the island on the bank. And dude, you draw back and it'd be like,
yeah,
and your bow's like
going left and right.
There was no leveling your bubble. Your sight was doing this, and there were just so many targets on that one where I was just like, dude, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
We originally started with miss a target, pay $5, but it wasn't super windy in the first 6 or 7 targets, and we only had $5 in the pot. And the winner of that challenge was going to get to take that money and go shoot for the Caribou to win the bear truck, or go shoot for the Sasquatch at the knock-on course and possibly win a custom bow from John Dudley. And we didn't have enough money in the pot, and we're like, this is not going to be a good video if you get to shoot one time,
right? Because one arrow for a truck is $15. Yep.
Yeah, and it's 10 at John Dudley's, so it's you need some money. And then we're sitting there 6 targets later after we changed it from hitting the target to hitting the insert, which, believe it or not, at 60, 70, 80 yards with 35, 40 mile an hour winds is pretty hard to do. So I actually was watching the video back, and I kind of corrected some of the audio for the wind. And I was just watching. I was like, if I didn't have context that this was 35 mile an hour winds and 60, 70, 80 yards, I'd think, dude, these guys suck. And there's some of that too. There's definitely some of that too.
I was about to say, yeah, there's definitely a lot of suckage within the group, but
there was
a lot of that was due to the wind. So
yeah, Sitka was brutal. I think we got I don't know how much we ended up in the pot, like
It
100 and
was
something.
I think it was like 110, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. So you got to shoot. I think you ended up shooting it 6 times, 5 times.
I shot 6 times, and then I gave Dudley 10.
Shot it once at Dudley's. Okay. Yeah. So none of us hit the sticker at the caribou. You and Micah shot for the caribou. I think Micah shot like once. Micah did get the iron rhino at 35 yards.
Yeah.
That was cool. Got that a couple times. And then none of us. Peyton actually got really close on the Sasquatch.
Oh, did he actually?
Yeah, I was watching the video. He got like half an inch off of it. So, granted, he didn't put a $10 bill in, so he wouldn't have got it. But still,
He got a hat.
Got a hat and a free beer. Shout out to Orange Bison Company, by the way, for all the free beer.
Yeah, that's it.
You guys are that was awesome.
They are like the only hat that I would rival with our leather patch hats. Like, I bought one of theirs while we were there. Because I was like, man, these guys have given us like 9 beers so far just for visiting. And I was like, I'll buy a hat now. Yeah. No, plus they're really good guys.
Yeah, they were. Well, you bought a hat. Peyton was the big winner of the weekend with a bow. They had a Total Archery came down and had the Prime inline, which is like last year's Prime model. It's like a $1,200 bow. Peyton found him for like $650. Of course, he bought the only one that would fit me. And now we're going on a bear hunt next month, and he's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to set it up or not. I'm like, let me have it then. Let me use it.
Why don't you buy something and not use it?
Well, he said, I don't know if I'm going to set it up this month because I already know my other one works. I'm like, well, let me use it. Oh
my God. I guess it is like halfway through April. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
What day y'all leaving in May?
We crossed the border on May 13th. So a little over a month. And
you're both are flying?
Nope. I'm driving up because I gotta.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Wyoming to turkey hunt. And so I'm going to do that for a week and then pick Peyton up in Billings, Montana. We decided today. He's flying to Billings, and I'm going to pick him up there, and then we're going all the way north of Saskatoon, which, dude, dang. So we were talking about this. I know it's off topic, but still. Billings, Montana, that's pretty north, right? How much further north do you think we're going from Billings, Montana?
Just because I already know. I want to say like 5 hours.
10 hours.
No, it's not.
10 hours. 10 hours north of Billings, Montana. What is 10 hours north of Billings, Montana?
So after you cross the border, how many hours is that?
It'll be like another 6.
Oh my God.
5.5, 6. Dude, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Either that or like Canadians can't drive over like 35 miles an hour.
One of the two. But that's what I was telling Peyton is like, we're going to show up to a random P.O. box and it's going to be a cardboard house with a mailbox. And they're going to go, gotcha.
Dang, no.
That'd be the best scam ever. But anyways, we're doing the bear hunt.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think what else at TAC. Is there did you develop any target panic on the first day? You had to. There's no way to not.
I mean, it's just normal at this point. Like, once target panic, always target panic. So, nothing really changed for me, to be honest. So,
you always got the monkey on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Fair play. Day 2.
Day 2, we slept in. And no, wait, did we sleep in? No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, because it was Saturday.
2 p.m. or 1 p.m. that day.
Yeah, but it was nice. Saturday was probably my favorite day because Friday we got our butts kicked with Prime, or not Prime. What did we do the first one?
Sitka and Ultra View.
Yes. That was a long day. Like from Sitka, we got back at like what, 5:30, 6?
What was awesome? Yeah, we were literally the last. There was one group behind us on the island. We were the last group of the day. Like when we got to the end of our course, there was like 40 people on the boat. Like, come on, like waiting for us. Any more
behind you? It's like, yeah, there's 2. It's like, all right. Yeah, so it was a late night Friday because we shot late, went back, and then we went and hung out with the Public Land Pretenders group. And
went to the Warrior Rising event.
That was Saturday.
Was it?
That was Saturday, yes.
I suck. Go ahead. Continue.
Yep. And then, so we slept in, thankfully, because we didn't have a knock time. And then we shot the Loophole course. But this was like a chill shoot, right? Because we already had 2 videos done. We had a goal of shooting 3 videos while we were at TAC. We did 2 the first day, and then we're going to do the other one on Sunday before we left. So Saturday was just kind of like a chill, you know, like
what TAC should actually be like.
Yeah, and it was very nice. I don't know. I don't know many adjectives at 8:33 at night, but yeah, it was very enjoyable. And like, there was no camera gear really involved besides like, you know, videoing or taking pics on the phone or whatnot. And we got through that one fairly quick. And then after that, that's when we met Crispy and all that crap. But during that little Saturday shoot, that's kind of when you're kind of getting like your shot back.
Me?
Did you not?
I felt like it finally came back a little bit. I felt like we like me, you, and Micah. Peyton didn't shoot the Saturday course with us. I felt like everybody shot pretty decent on that course. A hell of a lot better than we did on the RNG or the miss a target, pay $5.
Well, we kept score, didn't we?
We did. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't remember the scores.
Me either. They weren't good. They were like in the 150s or something like that, which is not good. But
good for us.
Good for us. And granted, I mean, this isn't like a normal 3D shoot. You know, every shot is meant to like screw you over.
Right.
And it was so funny walking through those courses and seeing like a single limb that had like 30 arrows in it. Mm-hmm. You're like, dude, I'm looking at like $1,000 in arrows in this thing right now. We did meet a cool guy on the second day on the Loophole course. It was Artex Outdoors, the guy from Arkansas. Yeah, him and his buddy. He had probably the most loyal butt friend I've ever seen in my life. He went and shot the course. They drove up for the day, and his buddy came with him and kept score for him the entire course. What a friend.
Yeah, and he didn't have a backpack on or anything like that, and he didn't have any water, didn't have any snacks, anything like that. He was just an old guy in some cowboy boots, just
and a pack of six,
tallying them up. Oh, did he?
Oh yeah, dude. I would look back here once in a while. He'd be getting a tug off one of them bad boys. That's awesome. All you need, dude. People use those bad boys as like hydration sometimes.
Good God, yeah. Well, they shot with this, and apparently they killed some studs this last year. Maybe I need to take notes.
Maybe I'm headed to Arkansas this year.
Yeah,
since I can't afford to go to Kansas. Yeah, now that one was fun. That one was steeper than crap, though. Like, Loophole wore me out. I mean, it really did. So
I think it was the most enjoyable course, but I just think from us shooting 2 courses prior, and I would say one of the more hard, like, because the Sitka course is like one of the most iconic courses, right? Like when someone thinks attack, they're like, oh yeah, did you shoot the Sitka course? Because like everybody just, that's what you ask or whatever. Like that's what everybody wants to shoot, I think, at least. And so after shooting 2 of those the following day, and then staying out a little bit past our bedtimes, I just felt like everybody was still trying to recover during that shoot. And plus, like, I'm not strong enough for my bow. I'll be the first to say, like, I shoot 74 pounds and I can't do that sexy drawback or anything like that. So if you want to critique me, be sure to send me a letter so I can wipe my butt with it. But my lower back was like killing me Saturday. I was like, oh my gosh, dude.
From drawing your bow?
Yeah. And I know that's not where you would think it would be from, but for some reason that's just what was hurting. And it was 100% from drawing my bow.
Walking those hills, not drinking enough water, staying out too late. It's like a compounding effect. By the time you wake up Sunday, you're like, I want to wake up. I want to go to sleep and wake up on Wednesday. Like that's how you feel. I mean, even though it's fun, it's super fun, but it absolutely wore on you. I remember waking up on Wednesday and I'm like, dude, I'm still tired from like this weekend. I'm still exhausted.
Ask me what I did Monday.
Slept in.
Nothing. Yeah, literally. That's all I did Monday.
That's all you need to do after a weekend like that. So we did that on Saturday. Then we went to the Warrior Rising event on Saturday, which was super cool. Like, that's when we got the wristbands that ran out of beer. We went to one of the local places there in Beavers Bend, and
it's for a good cause, though.
It was for a great cause, and I actually won something in the raffle
Oh.
while taking a piss.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So the way that was kind of set up is like when they when you walk in, they kind of guilt trip you like, hey, you know, buy raffle tickets for this Wounded Warrior thing or
It was
whatnot.
Support entrepreneurship for
And and at first you were like, okay, what's the cheapest thing I could buy that gets me free beer? That's what was going through my mind. And then all of a sudden they gave their little spiel, about all that, and it's just like, give me the shirt too. It's fine.
$50 later.
Yeah. And so after doing that, but anyways, on back to the raffle. Yeah, you got 5 tickets when you paid $50. You got the shirt and little beer or bottle opener, whatever you want to call it. And about halfway through it, Christie's ticket gets called. But the way they kind of set this up is like they did like an auction for like the first part of it, and then right after an item sold in the auction, they would do a free drawing giveaway type ordeal. And about 6 of those goes by, and each one takes a little bit because they'll draw a number and someone won't be paying attention, just like Christy did or whatnot. And then they have to go through it, and it takes 5 minutes to draw and then 5 minutes to auction or whatnot. Well, with all that time in between, it gives you plenty of time to hydrate yourself. And when you hydrate a lot, you also have to go to the bathroom a lot. And so I think that is what your downfall was.
I stepped out of the bathroom. I think you and Peyton coming at a rapid pace towards me. I'm like, what's up? They're like, dude, you won. I was like, what? And then I walked out there. They were already past me. They were on to the next one. I was like, no. But you guys only knew I won because you had the tickets on either side of me. Like the 5 tickets in a row. You knew exactly which one it was.
And the thing is, I wasn't even paying attention either. Newly was like, I think that's you. And I was like, what's me? Because like at this point, I was just like, I wasn't paying attention. And he was like, are you yada, yada, yada 6'9"? And I'm like, no, I'm 70s. I'm like 70 through 76 or something like that. And he was like, well, which one walked in before you? I was like, I think it was Christian. And sure enough, it was something 6'9", and I was like, "Yep, that's him."
Dude, sad. I could have won I don't even know what was on the table to win.
There was a lot of good stuff on the table because Micah won too. Got his
Montana Knife Company.
Yeah, and it was like $150
nice. Knife. That was really nice. I love that knife that he got.
So
lucky.
And plus, your ticket was called a lot earlier, so you probably could have got a lot better prize.
I probably could have. I think the big winner. What?
It's all for the sake of the donation, though. So
I donated. That's all right. Dude, the big winner of the night was probably Trent.
No, it was not.
Trent.
Oh my God. There was so many people that I knew that was like bidding on stuff, and it's just like, do you really need that? Do you really need that?
So they had it was either Mystery Ranch or Sitka. It was one of the two, but it was one of those like really nice like mountain hauler bags.
It was Mystery Ranch.
Mystery Ranch. So, and if you go out west, like if you've ever looked at one of these bags, dude, they're like a starter car. How much they cost? Like they're nuts. I mean, they're awesome, but they're extremely expensive. Well, Trent was gonna buy one anyway.
Randy Bird is sponsored by them. If that says anything,
that'll give you insight into it. So Trent wanted one of those bags, and he's like, well, if I can get it like here, at either a discount or what it costs, or maybe even a little bit more, because you're supporting a good cause. So you're like, I'll pay a little bit more. He was willing to go
to taxes.
Yeah. He was willing to go to like $600 on the bag. And so was it Noop? Was it Newly that was bidding for? It was Newly or Coop. So Coop was Peyton's brother.
Also Trent's brother.
Yeah. Also Trent's brother. So they're Coop's bidding on the bag, and Coop has the bag for like $500.
No, it was $400.
$400. Was it $400?
It was $400.
Okay. He has it, and the crowd is completely like silent. Like nobody else is bidding. And we're like, dude, you're about to get this bag for like a hella discount. And Trent's going to be pumped up about it. So they're like 500. He's auctioning. You just see someone come back from like the booze station / bathrooms, and you just hear, yup. It's Trent bidding against himself.
Well, just putting it out there. Someone went to go get Trent, and
it was Peyton.
So and so he didn't know what was going on, and I assume Peyton was like, "Dude, the bag you're wanting, hyping him up, like you need to get out there now." And so he said, "Yeah, that brought it to 500." And then like
it's again.
No. Everybody was like freaking out, like no, like so the auctioneer was getting confused. He was like, "What?" And then Coop was like, "He has it for 600."
And then Trent tried to bid again for 700 because he didn't understand what was going on. He's like, "Yep," and he's like, 700. He's like, "No." Like the whole group is screaming no at this point. So I think he ended up winning it for what was it, 600?
It was either 6 or 7. I forget which one.
Okay. It was freaking hilarious because he could have got it for like $200 less.
Yeah.
But dude, that was awesome. I loved that.
All you can say is it's for a good cause.
You have to rationalize it to yourself somehow. The Hunter's Advantage podcast is powered by Out on a Limb Manufacturing. Out on a Limb is a family-owned company based right here in Oklahoma that makes tree stands, saddle platforms, climbing sticks, and so much more.
Christian, I have a quick question.
What's that?
What bites down harder, a hippo or an alligator?
No idea.
It's a trick question. The Ridge Runner 2.0 bites harder than both of them. But all jokes aside, we use these products all across the land on public or private. These help us get into any tree we want and hunt where the deer actually are.
Most men go to the grocery store for their meat, but these products help you go to God's grocery store. I have used the Out on a Limb Ridge Runner 2.0 and the Shakar sticks for the last few years hunting public land bucks, and I've actually shot several bucks out of this setup. If you want to support the podcast and get some Out on a Limb equipment, make sure to go to outonalimbmfg.com and use code HNTA10 for 10% off at checkout. Once again, if you want to support the podcast, go to outonalimbmfg.com and use code HNTA10 at checkout for 10% off. Now let's get back to the podcast. I know we just got out of the Out on a Limb ad, but I did want to mention a awesome spring sale that they got going on right now. It's 15% off, and if you buy one of their one sticks, you get a free 3-step aider. So if you're one of those crazy people that wanted to try out a one stick this year, I don't know if I'm one or not. I haven't decided yet, but if you are one, this is a great time to pick one up. Jake, you're going to be one sticking this year?
Negative
Ghost Rider?
Not man enough.
But if you are man enough and you want to carry 40 foot of that line in your bag and
do a little bit of Pilates,
little yoga, tree yoga, go check you out a one stick or any other products like camera arms, saddle hunting gear, platforms, all that stuff on outonalimbmfg.com. It's 15% off. I know it's spring, but your wife still is finally getting over you spending all that money in the fall, and it's time to ramp that back up. Hunting season's coming very quickly. 15% off. Go check it out. Let's talk Sunday. So Sunday we shot the prime course. What time did you get home on Sunday?
Oh,
10,
shoot.
9.
Yeah, it was like probably 9:45, something like that at night.
I didn't pull it home till like almost 1 a.m.
No, you did not. What was keeping you?
The storms out in East Texas on the way home, dude, like terrible. I had to pull into a Dollar General because I was on the highway and it was like sending me on either
side.
side.
I can imagine.
I was like, nope.
So apparently that storm was coming up from the south, like coming up from Texas. And so you were driving into the storm. And I kid you not, I was on the tail end racing that storm north, headed back to northeast Oklahoma. And I got caught in it for probably 15 minutes because I had to fill up. And it was pretty cool because, like I said, we shot Sunday and we left really late, basically when everybody was packing up everything. And so by the time, we did the punishment for the challenges and all that stuff, I pull out after saying bye to everybody and I get on the road, and I'm on the road for like 10 minutes. And once you walk down that little hill in Beavers Bend, obviously all like the Trophy Ridge truck, then you had like the, like all those different, Black Rifle Coffee truck was all there. And all of a sudden you seen this like Dodge, 2500
Cummins
with, a gray one. It had a big old knock-on sticker on the front hood. And then the halfway painted green emblems on the fender and door. And it's just like, I bet you that's John Dudley's truck. Well, as I was pulling out and I was on the road for like 10 minutes, all of a sudden, just like all good Dodge owners, I see a big old knock-on sticker. Or no. I didn't see the knock-on sticker at first. I just read the front license plate and it said knock on. And I was like, John Dudley's behind me. And I was like, I wonder where he's going. And like, no joke, he was behind me for probably 45 minutes. And then I had to pull over to get some gas. And when I pulled over to get gas, dude, I just seen like it just started darkening and then just started pouring like those big old
hail
raindrops. It wasn't hail, thankfully. It wasn't hail, but it was just like those thick old raindrops where it's just like it's about to start hitting. You know what I mean? Like those really big cold rain droplets. That's when you know like it's about to start getting hectic.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine driving into it what it would be.
It was terrible. It was like, and at one point I was on the east side of I-35, and it told me to avoid weather advisory, you need to go down I-35. It added an hour and a half to my trip. An hour and a half added on top of it. So I ended up adding like 2.5 hours. Turned like a 6-hour drive to like 8.5.
Oh my God. I thought mine was bad, dude. I was really tired on the way home. Like it was bad. After shooting for the first 2 days, what'd you think of the MMT arrows?
I sent 12 of them to meet Jesus after the first day. I probably hold the record for the most arrows lost on a single day in TAC. But so we got the new the four vein configs of the MMTs. I shot 5 deer with them last season and they were awesome. But those 4 veins, I don't know if it's just added confidence because of the sexiness or what, but those 4 veins flew really well. And when I was editing the videos, like there was no fishtail, there was no wagon, like they were out to 80, flush, flying smooth. They were pretty. I mean, but those arrows are custom built for our setup, so they should fly that way. What was your first impressions of the MMT shooting long range? Because you're not always practicing for whitetail. You're not always shooting 90 yards watching them.
I mean, depends how big, but so I had a dozen of the 3-fletched, and then we just got 2 dozen of the 4-fletched in. And I think I'm right there with you. I think the 4-fletched are 10 times sexier than 3-fletched. That's just the way I am. And with that being said, going into TAC, I knew that I was going to lose some arrows. And I was like, the arrows I want to lose are going to be the 3-fletched. And so I sighted in my bow for the 3-fletched, because I didn't have the 4-fletched yet. But after talking about it with you, I was like, there shouldn't be too much of a difference, like weight-wise, between the 3-fletched
and we weighed them. They were what, like less than a grain difference?
I think my setup, the 4-fletched was like maybe a grain or 2 heavier than, right?
Yeah, so it was very close.
Shouldn't matter.
Yeah,
at all. But so yeah, I was using the 3-fletched, so I didn't really have it like tuned in before TAC, and so I lost/broke 2 or 3 arrows. No, I lost 1 arrow completely. I broke one when an arrow punched through my bag, and it hit like I have like this old shooting bag, and I had it propped up against a barbed wire fence, like the T-post, and since it's an old bag, it kind of like punched through the bag on a spot and hit the T-post and shattered the front tip and cracked it. I had 1 completely break from that, lost 1, and then I had 2 that hit the T-post but didn't really break, but it kind of cracked like the tip of it. And I was like, these are going to be my Hail Mary arrows. Like, hope they don't splinter when I shoot it. Long story short, they didn't, because going into TAC, I had like probably 10 shootable arrows, and I came back with like 2, 3-fletched left, and I don't think I lost any 4-fletched. But long story short, where I was going with this is I actually got more clearance out of the 4-veined than the 3.
Because the veins were lower profile?
Yes.
That's a good problem to have.
I like that. I like that a lot more, because what was it? 470? No.
470.
Yeah, 470. Yeah. That's what my arrows weighed, and I was getting like 90. I want to say 92 yards of clearance, and then when I tried the 4-fletched at the Caribou, because my sight tape maxed out at 100, and also probably so does my sight clearance, I was shooting 100, and I think I could probably get away with like 101, 102 maybe for the clearance on those 4-fletched. So it was really nice. Like I really like them, and that says something, because like those FMJs we were shooting last year, I really like those things and the way they flew, and now it's like it doesn't feel so bad switching, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I'm I have to see to believe. Like I'm pretty skeptical before I use something, or to use something, I need to know that it works. That's why I shot a doe with those arrows before I switched, because I was like, well, I'm not trying these if they unless they work, So I used them last season on deer, so I have confidence in them, and they're expensive arrows to shoot at tack. But if you're not doing stupid challenges, you probably won't lose as many as we did. Well, so
how many did we lose Saturday when we weren't like doing a challenge?
Oh, one a piece?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I think I lost one, but I had a rock. I think that was the one I lost. Yeah, so if you're shooting a normal course, it's probably great to shoot just a normal setup, unless you're doing a challenge or something like that.
Unless you're dumb.
Yeah, unless you're being silly. What did TAC teach you this year? What did you learn? Besides target panic that you're going for in 6 months.
I learned how to draw back and aim and punch the trigger within 3 seconds.
It's a bad habit.
What do you mean? There ain't no habit. That was forcefully.
You're gonna pull back on a deer this season. You're gonna just hear 3, 2, 1.
They're gonna start calling me like those old Western quick shooters. It's like you take 3 steps, then you turn around and shoot real quick. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give a deer a chance this year.
It's terrible.
What about you?
Man, I went and watched a bunch of the footage, editing the videos. I don't know. There was probably 3 targets on the whole course that I didn't somewhat punch the trigger or shot anticipation or something like that happened. Because I thought like, I was shooting pretty well. I switched to this thumb button release and all this stuff. Well, I watched every time you have a sucky weekend, I watch a bunch of videos on the way home. I watched a bunch of videos about like bow stabilization and from like Dudley, Joel Turner, Levi, Chris. And I was like, I have this thing on my bow. When I pull back, it seems like my pin will only hover where it's supposed to for about 2 to 3 seconds. And then it like wants to drop low, 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 low.
So, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the reason for that is my bow's stabilized completely incorrectly. I have way too much weight on the front of my bow. Like I have like 3 ounces on the front, and I only had 1 on the back, and that might work for some people. But for me, my pin was just slowly. I couldn't get my pin to come back up. Your pin should hover somewhat closely. Mine was not. It would stay on the target for a few seconds. It would drop, and I would have to try to inch the pin back up, but it feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds when you're trying to inch it back up. And I never could. So I was just pulling through my shot while trying to bring that pin up. And that's really not what you should be focused on. You should be focusing on executing the shot while the pin is hovering in that spot. That wasn't the case.
Okay. Well, that's a little bit different than what I was thinking, because I thought I heard John talk about kind of your same circumstance whenever I was listening to a podcast before TAC. He was talking to somebody. I think it was probably on Wired to Hunt, and it was with Andy May. That's what it was. So it was what's Wired to Hunt? Mark Kenyon. It was him, Andy May, and then Dudley. And he was talking. Andy asked him something, but Dudley was like, talking about how whenever he tried to focus the pin, like it would stay where it wanted to for like a few seconds. And then no matter how still he tried to hold it, the pin would always just kind of move out of the way one way or the other. And he said he basically boiled it down to it was just basically his mind, his subconscious holding that pin, and he wanted to hold it on something. But when he does, the pin is covering up whatever he's looking at. So subconsciously his mind will kind of move the pin away just to reassure itself that, hey, that thing you're aiming at is still there, and then it would come right back to it. And he said you can't really control that because that's just a subconscious, like, I guess, action. And maybe that isn't what you were talking about, but I don't know. That's the first thought that popped into my head whenever you were saying that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. This, I think, it's a little different because it's when you have your pin and you're on the target, and they're both in focus a little bit, and your pin should be moving on that target, right? But if you're focusing on the center, it's always coming back to the center, right? Whether it goes left, right, low, high, it always comes back. my pin was never coming back. It would float there for 2 or 3 seconds and then it would just drop. And I don't know if that means I'm weak. I was listening to a lot of folks that are a heck of a lot smarter than me and shoot a lot better than me. And that's probably a little bit of target panic and definitely an issue with stabilization, because my bow weighs way too much for me. It should not drop that fast. So that's one of the things I learned.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm not no expert and I don't ever plan to be, but my thinking is like, because I'm kind of right there with you at times, right? Because I got a 3-pin spot hog and it goes 20, 30, 40, and my 40 is my floater, right? And for some reason, it just seems that my pin always wants to float like it feels most natural when I'm aiming. It keeps wanting that 30-yard pin to be like its primary pin. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So like whenever I try to hold it up on that third pin, because that's my floater, it keeps wanting to like come down a little bit and it won't hardly ever go past that second pin. Yeah. And that's just where it feels most comfortable. That might be a weight thing, kind of like you're talking about. But then again, it's just like, maybe that's just like all those times shooting. And it's just like, you're kind of almost doing what's natural at that point, because like 20, 30, like how many times are you going to take a shot at a deer past 30 yards? Probably not often. Many.
That's just like what you learn at TAC, though. The things that you never learn at 20, 30, 40 even, you start to learn issues that you have at 80, 90, 100 because everything is amplified. Like at 20, that might be a half inch or an inch difference. And you're like, oh, I'm close. No good, no biggie. And also your shot sequence is a hell of a lot faster when you're at 20 yards because you don't need – like it's not moving a ton, right? It's just they're close, so you can execute fairly quickly. Well, out on those targets, what was happening was like I'm on the target, and those targets don't look big in your sight at 80 or 100 yards, anyways. Like they're like this big. They look. Well, I'm on it, and it locks like 2 foot below the target. I'm like, mother fricker. And it feels like the weight of the sun trying to bring that thing back up again, but I shouldn't be focused on the pin. I should be focused on executing the shot, and the pin should be doing what the pin is doing. Right,
but you're probably not used to also like shooting up at a 45.
There's a myriad of issues. Yeah, right? Like the up, the down, the fatigue.
And like you think your bow's like straight and in line, but when you look at your sight bubble, it's like that. It's just like I could swear my bow is straight 90 degrees right now, but you look at your bubble and your bow's actually sitting like that.
Yeah, that was the main. I haven't got to test the theory because I bought some cheap weights on Amazon and I'm just gonna mess around with the stabilization on the front, on the back, and I'm gonna have to go shoot those other yards. And you also have factors like the wind, a bunch of crap. But
that's what I'm saying. Like after shooting those challenges and then just shooting TAC in general, like I don't think that's the best like thing to cause a change. Like, like, hey, I need to change this because the bow felt heavy at TAC. Well, of course it did, because we walked 12, 15 miles more than we're used to. And also you were tired and all that stuff. And then now you're wanting to change something on your bow. Like, I mean, I get like those longer shots are also going to like show you more. But then again, it's just like, is that the best scenario to like judge whether something's off or not? Does that make sense?
No, but if I go test it in the backyard and it's still the same way,
true,
then it is something to change. I'm not going to be like, oh, Levi Morgan told me to put 9 on the front and 3 on the back, so that's what I do now. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go and I'm going to be like, okay, this feels a little bit better. This feels it's just tinkering. This is what it is. I'm not going to go change absolutely everything or change my sight up or be like, I need different stabilizers now. I'm just going to mess with some of the weights, like front, back, kind of see how it balances. But there is things you can change. Like if I'm punching the trigger on a handheld release, that has to stop. I have to stop that. I watched the video. Everybody was guilty at some point.
Yeah.
But there's always something to improve on. I mean, TAC's not a good litmus test of like, what are my issues? Because you don't even know what they are. There's 20 factors that go into the issues. And if you're looking to develop good habits at TAC, it's not the place to do it. It's going to bring out the worst in you, which is good because it's fun. I like it, but there's definitely plenty to work on this summer. Plenty to work on. So that's part of the game that I want to get better at is the archery side of it. Like it's easy to index and like, oh, I want more trail cameras, so I'll find more deer, or I want to scout more. I can do that. I can set time aside to do that. But getting better at the part that matters the most, that's what I want to do this summer. Because we've got the trail camera. I'm going to go set trail cameras where I always have. We're going to go do what we've done on public land. The archery side is the side that I want to get better at. Easier said than done. It makes
sense. Yeah, it is. It is. And also just like, it'd all be for nothing if you can't get in front of a deer though too. So you gotta take that side of it.
I'm gonna find the deer.
So therefore start finding those deer now.
Yeah, and it depends what your goals are. If you want to shoot, if you don't ever plan, like if you're one of the people that's like, okay, I don't want to ever shoot for further than 30 yards. Well, you can shoot on command and shoot 30 yards and never worry about it. I'm thinking about in a decade when I'm up there on a freaking stone sheep hunt. And I'm like, all right, 98 yards. My legs feel like noodles. What do I need to do here? That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about shooting a buck at 20 yards because you can hammer the trigger and figure that out.
I'll just do what I do at 20, same as I do at 98. Spray and pray, baby.
if you send enough, one's going to connect.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, especially with all those air bows Oklahoma's about to pass and all that stuff too. So,
jeez, don't get started on those. Me and Peyton already talked about those. How far do you want us to go? Oh, dude, imagine they start bringing those to TAC. They're like, dude, I shot a 300. Like, did you? Congrats. That's incredible.
Wow. 30-mile-an-hour wind, still shooting 300? Yeah, dude, blew right through it.
They're going to have to make like a fortified 3D foam to stop those things. They shoot 600 FPS.
600?
600, some of them do.
You know what I would do? Like, no joke, this is what I would do. I would build the beefiest arrow, like literally make it like I'm launching a damn T-post out of that thing.
1,000 grains?
No, literally. I'd have like a freaking 6-blade mechanical broadhead that's just basically use one of those broadheads that you use to like decapitate turkeys with.
Yeah.
I'd put that sucker on there. It'd punch through.
It'd fire it. Probably like 300. Shoot it faster than your bow would. No doubt. So wrapping up Sunday, we shot prime. Thank God that course was close to the truck because when we were done, I was ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk too much about the challenge that we did on that one because we have a video coming out, but that was a fun one too. And there was a consequence that someone had to deal with the entire way home because of it.
I was thinking, I was like, no, holding the sign. Like,
no, he already did that.
that did that, but that was probably the best punishment, I would say. Like, video
more of those.
Yeah, that was funny because you just you just turn and you see a certain somebody go to spear
another somebody.
Yeah,
that was a good one. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed TAC overall. It was
fun.
It was very fun.
Waking up Tuesday morning, that's when it was like, damn, that was really fun. Sunday, I'll be honest, I didn't want to shoot. I didn't want to shoot that course.
If we had already shot the video, I might have been like, let's go home, boys.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we did. We had a guy comment. There were a group of guys in front of us that were like picking arrows out of trees and like funny crap like that. And they commented on one of our videos and they were like, we were the guys in front of you picking arrows out of trees.
I've seen that.
That was awesome. It's crazy. We got to meet a ton of cool people. There was one guy that I met right when we were shooting the knock-on course or the knock-on at the Sasquatch that is a wildlife biologist. I think lives in Ardmore. Do you remember his name?
No, but he was talking about like burning
habitat management.
Yep.
I hope that guy listens to the podcast because I do not remember his name and I wanted to connect with him because I was going to have him possibly burn, maybe not the least, maybe one of the leases, not the.
I wouldn't burn that 110.
Not the thick one, but I do want to it's great to have people like that to know. So if that guy listens to the pod, I'm terrible with names. I remember your face. I remember what you do, your occupation, where you live, just not your name. So hit us up. on Insta because I like to stay in contact. But anyways, it was fun.
Shout out to Orange Bison once again.
Shout out to Orange Bison.
I'm pretty sure they're the reason that TAC was even in Oklahoma to begin with.
That's what I was told. It might have been by one of them, but I was told that. But regardless, that's super cool. Stillwater based company. Mm-hmm. Like Jake said, have some cool merch. Super nice guys. They were funding all the beer for the knock on shoot right there. So that was super cool. We got to meet some cool people, some subscribers, some people that we had met before. Just friends.
There was a dude. What was it? It wasn't David. It was something else. It was during the Sunday shoot, I believe. He was shooting solo, and he was like, "Hey, or was it the Prime one? It was Prime.
Yeah, on the last course.
Yeah. I guess that was the last course. He was like, "Yeah, I shot behind you all last year." And
what are the odds?
Yeah, I know, because we shot Prime on a Saturday morning last year, and then we shot it Sunday like at, I don't know, like 12 noon. And he was behind us again, and he was just shooting, or he was just basically playing through us because we were waiting on those guys digging the arrows out of trees. And he was like, "Hey, I'm just going to skip right by you." We're like, "Dude, you can shoot through. Like, it ain't no skin off our back. Like, we don't mind." And he was like, "No," he said, "I'm just, basically the same way we were feeling, Sunday, kind of ready to get out of here." And he was like, "I'm a subscriber, by the way." And we're like, "Oh, nice." And he was like, "Yeah, seen y'all last year. I was behind you shooting last year." And then
your video popped up.
Yeah.
I got home.
At first I was skeptical. I was like, he just sees the cameras and he's just going to say that. And then he was like, "No, your release broke last year." And I was like, "Oh, damn."
You watched.
He did watch.
That was cool. We are not like to anybody else's celebrity level there, but it is weird when you see somebody. It is weird when you see somebody and they recognize you, and you can tell if they're trying to decide if it is you or not. And because I've done it to people too, when you're like, it's like the squinting eyes. You're like, "Is that him?" And they walk up. It's usually the hat that gives away. They're like, I know you guys." And you're like, "Wow, this is nuts."
A little bit of secondhand embarrassment. Like, nothing embarrassing that you did. It's just, it almost feels awkward right now. Does that make sense?
I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah. Yeah, but we met a bunch of cool people. Thanks for coming up and talking with us. It was fun to get to meet a lot of you guys. I got to meet Harrison and his whole crew.
You know what we didn't do?
What's that?
No one probably would have showed up, but remember we said we're going to have a meetup?
Yeah, we got carried away.
Yeah.
Got carried away at the Warrior Rising thing, and then we were shooting bows in the dark. It's probably a liability. Probably shouldn't say that, but
we had headlights.
It is what it is. Yeah, we're properly lit. We have insurance. Yeah, it was a great time. I'm ready for TAC to come back again. Just in about 12 months, though.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
All right, so before we sign off, I did want to talk about a trail camera deal that's going on at Exodus Outdoor Gear right now. Jake, how many broken piece of crap, worthless cameras do you got right now at home?
Dude, I don't even know. They're like at least 3 or 4 sitting at the bottom of the tote right now.
I know you got some in your back seat too.
Okay, so how does this even work?
All right, so it's pretty simple. You order any camera at ExodusOutdoorGear.com. Use the code UPGRADE when you check out. You're going to save 25% off any render bundle, rival bundle, no matter what cell cam that you get, as long as it's a cell cam. Once you place the order, you're going to get a return label for you to send your old POS camera back to Exodus. And once they receive that camera, they will ship your order. If you're new to Exodus, a few things you got to know. They got a 5-year warranty on all their cameras, 5-year theft and damage protection for the cameras, and great customer service. I shot the M&T arrows all last season and loved them, shot 5 deer with them, and I've been using the Exodus Rival for a little while now, and I love that camera as well. So if you want to save 25% off a great cell camera or a cell cam bundle and get rid of one of those POS cameras that is just sitting in the garage or the backseat of your truck, make sure to use code UPGRADE at ExodusOutdoorGear.com when you purchase a new cell cam. Thank you guys so much for checking out the Hunter's Advantage podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to the podcast. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.